Hi, everybody. I am so excited today because I wanted to go live and just take you on a little bit of a journey with me and start pinning away. I don't know if you have seen, but we are doing a boot camp right now, which is it's called Pin Up. Excuse me, I can't even talk right now. Pin Up Strength and Strategy, and I'm typing it into the the bar right now. Strength and Strategy Boot Camp right now. I'm so excited because we are on day 6. So if you haven't had a chance to join us for the boot camp, we are going 21 days strong. The event is in the event tab inside of the College of Style Facebook group. And so if you haven't had a chance to join our Facebook group, it is free and it is fun. And there's so much to learn from all of the group members. We are over 600 members strong right now and growing every single day. And so I want to invite you, if you haven't had a chance to join us, to make sure to pop on over to our Facebook group. I'm going to put up the information for how to contact us while I am situating my next pin. But if you can join us on our Facebook group or at College of Style, you can certainly find us there. But this is going to be all about pinning today. And so I have not done any tutorials inside of our Facebook group yet to date, except to have interviews with great guests to give you some insider knowledge on all of the different businesses that people are running and some of the productivity, organization, leadership skills, and all of the life hacks that we can give you. But I wanted to lean in a little bit more on our design focus of our group as well. So we had about 360 people signed up for our actual template design summit Facebook group, in addition to people who were actually watching on all 3 of my Facebook groups. This one at College of Style, our Facebook group for the actual summit, and then my writing and blogging Facebook group, which has over 10,000 members. So I'm really excited to bring this tutorial. Basically, you're going to be watching me live pin, if you will. So this is one of the ones that I just recently did. This was an idea pin, and so it was a few different panels. It was 3 simple Facebook group growth strategies. And so the first one was pick a group name with searchable keywords and invite members that are conversation starters. The second tip was to create engaging content and tag members who might be interested in that information, because there's a lot of times where we put out information on our Facebook pages or profiles or even inside of our groups and no one sees it. You know, there might be a little bit of a reach based on how many people have liked it, how many people have commented on it, but maybe the people who actually need to see it aren't actually seeing it. So it's really great that when you do your Facebook joining questions, that you get to know your Facebook group members so that you can start tagging certain people who you know would be interested in this information on those specific posts. So this is another group growth strategy that I think that people are missing and not actually using. And sometimes they're not using it because you end up in Facebook jail or whatnot, because you're tagging people too often. But it's always good to have a running list of who you're tagging and why, you know, what posts you're tagging them in. You don't want to be tagging people every single day unless they're like super excited about it. But you want to tag them in the most important posts so that they're getting the information that obviously is really important to them. And then the third group growth strategy was to create interactive events and learning tutorials for people to participate in. So I have created a summit, a challenge. We're doing a style symposium in the fall. This is our boot camp where we're trying to increase and elevate our social media strategies, specifically on Pinterest. And then this last one was join our Facebook group, because there's always a very big need on any sort of social media to create a call to action. And so this call to action was to join the Facebook group. So if you are just joining this pinup tutorial, welcome. This was another one that I just recently did. And so it also was an idea pin. So it had a few different panels to it so that people could swipe through or tap through. And then this was one that I did that actually had a little interactive graphic. So it was animated. And so it's always interesting to see what sparks interest and what does not. This one had a graphic as well. So you can see right here, this graphic here. And then you can also see this was one that people really, really liked as far as the aesthetic. Now, we can go into some of the analytics a little bit later as far as what is hitting and what is missing. And I think that that has a lot to do with hashtags, what's trending. I don't know if Pinterest is the same as far as time of day because it's not exactly, pins are constantly there, right? And so is a lot of other content on social media. But I don't know that people are pinning at different times at the same time of day all the time, because people are going to Pinterest for different how-tos. They're looking for inspiration, and that doesn't always happen at 1 o'clock every day, right? So Pinterest is a little different. It's almost like, it's a visual search engine just like Google is. So you're not Googling at 9 o'clock in the morning. You might be every day, but you're Googling when you need to. And so I think a lot of people go to Pinterest when they need that kind of inspiration. So let's start a pin. I just wanted to start a pin and just see where it goes. So this is one of my favorites because it really jumps out on the page. It says 50 tips to convert followers into customers. Get the free guide now. And what a lot of people are not doing on Pinterest, and they should be, is multiple pins. So you can do multiple pins about the same topic. You don't have to just do one pin, one and done. You can do multiple pins on the same topic if you want to. So what I wanted to do was just make a duplicate copy, and let me move this so that you can see the full screen here. Make a duplicate copy. So you see there's the same one up here as there is down here. And what I wanted to do is literally take the background, click the delete button. Actually, there was something over it. Make it a white background, right? Then I'm going to go over here into my column, and I want to just go into where it says photos, right? And I'm just going to search texture because I love what they have with texture. And instead of doing something really, really harsh, I'm just going to put in off-white and see what comes up. So there's a lot of different textures that come up, maybe a little paper, a little crinkly, kind of looking like you're doing the inside of a home. And I just like to scroll. Sometimes what a lot of people do on Canva, which is what we're in to create this pin, sometimes what people do on Canva is they take the first thing that they see. I am not that person. I like to scroll down. I like to see what comes up. I kind of like this one right here that kind of has a little bit of like a book feel, and see what happens. Not really digging that. So you can always go to this back button up here. You see where my cursor is up at the top, and delete that. The other is sometimes your first inclination of what might look good is not really what's going to look good. So sometimes I like to play around with it just to see what's going to pop on the page. Now that pops on the page because of this background, but it's most likely not going to pop for what people are looking for on Pinterest, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting something that's going to be eye-catching, that's not going to divert from the actual text on the paper. Like this would not fly, right? So it's too busy. There's too many divots. There's too much to look at, just the same as this one, right? To put in a background like this. That's way too busy. It reminds you of doing your home, right? So let's get off of the off-white and let's pick a color that maybe pops a little more. Like let's do hot pink. Okay, that is hot, right? So I like to do a few different things and see what actually works. And what you can do with different things is you can put this background in, and then you can take this over here, this tool up at the top, and you can click on where it says transparency. And you can mute that a little bit so that it's not so overpowering. Now, I don't really like the shape of it because it kind of ends at a certain place. So I'm actually going to not use this one. Okay, so let's just do a smooth pink, right? And I really like that because it pops and it's not taking away from the actual text, right? Another thing that you can do that a lot of times I do, which is a little bit of a signature of College of Style, which is adding smoke. So you can go down to this video button, and I'm just going to go into my recently used because I know that I recently just used a little bit of smoke. And I'm going to pull this video into here. And sometimes it does go over the actual letters and the words, but it gives it a little movement, right? Now, what I've found with pins on Pinterest is that it doesn't necessarily help your cause to have movement on pins. What does is if you're talking directly to camera, right? If you are speaking directly to the camera and you're talking about whatever the pin is, right? And how it's going to help people, then that might actually be very worthy of having as a pin. So what I'm going to do with you, hopefully my phone is going to work today, is I'm going to record a pin. Okay, so I'm going to do it on my cell phone, and then hopefully we're going to magically make this pop up on the screen as we go. So if I were to just take a video, and you can see this is my camera, right? And I'm going to say what exactly is on the screen. 50 tips to convert your followers into raving customers and paying customers. I have a free guide and I want you to take advantage of it right now. You can click on the notes inside of this idea pin, or however you want it to say. Click on the notes on the idea pin to take advantage of this free guide today. That's what I'm going to say. And then I'm going to upload it. And hopefully while we're doing another pin, we can upload this and we can try it out. So I'm going to just say really quickly so you can see I'm actually doing it into my camera. All right. So are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Hey everybody, Dr. Sandra Colton Medici here from College of Style. I want you to take advantage of my free guide that is going to help you turn your followers into raving and paying customers. You can take advantage of this by going to the notes section of this idea pin and clicking on the website URL www.sandracolton.com/free guide. Take advantage of it right now because there are so many people out there just looking for you, and this is going to help you so much. Make sure to tell me how it helps you and tag me on social media at Sandra Colton. That is amazing. Okay, so that was like a little bit of a bad take. So you can change that. But for our purposes right now, we are going to put it on. Okay, so I'm going to upload this to myself. I could do it on Dropbox, or I could do it on my email, whatever it is that is going to help you out. For me, it's really important that it just happens very quickly. So let's see here. I'm actually going to do Dropbox because it's probably quicker. So when you do things like this, you are just literally clicking the upload button, clicking the actual file, oops, and then you are going to send it to yourself, which is what I'm doing. So as we're going, we'll see if it goes through. I had one other thing waiting to upload, so I just canceled that. So as we're walking through another pin, we'll try to do a video pin while we're doing this. All right, so another one that I did recently was this one, and I loved it so much because when you look at it on the screen, you totally see what it means. 7 ways to reduce stress, and that really pops out at you on the Pinterest screen. So I wanted to go over to my Pinterest, so I'm going to stop sharing this screen and just go over to stop share. Boom. I just wanted to go over to my Pinterest screen so that you can see how it looks on the actual profile. Because when you look at it on the profile, it looks different, right? It looks different on the profile on desktop, and it looks different when you're looking at it on mobile too. So it's very important to look at different mobile share versus desktop share. All right, so now you can see on here the desktop version. So as you can see here, we've gone up just in our Pinterest bootcamp from 6.5 thousand monthly views to 8,000 monthly views. I increased by 3 followers. I think I was at 22 followers, so I added 3 followers. And now you can see right here, like what I was telling you, this one really pops out. 7 ways to reduce stress. This one over here, 3 social media growth tips. That one really pops out. So what I wanted you to look at here is the bottom. 11 right here, 12 right here, 8 right here, 5 right here. You can see that those are a little different than some of my previous ones, right? So what I'm going to do this week, because we're on day 6, so on day 7 and forward, I'm going to do what I was doing a little bit ago, which is talking straight to camera. And you can see all of these things on here. You can see all of these pins are me talking straight to camera. And this one has 1.3 thousand, 1.4 thousand, 1.6 thousand, 1.4 thousand. Down here, 818, 1,000, 1.1 thousand. Excuse me. Over here, 1.1 thousand, 1.7 thousand, right? Down here, 1.2 thousand. 1,000, 1,000. So a lot of these ones that are me talking directly to the camera, 1,000. This one, 3.3 thousand, right? This one has 28,000. You want to know what it's about? TikTok, right? So thinking about this one is new essential or 3 essentials for new business owners. So looking back at some of these straight to camera, it's really important to look at that and go, okay, well, so maybe I need to analyze what I was doing. I've revamped some of these text only pins, and now I want to add in some straight to camera so that people can see maybe there's an uptick. You know, it really is depending on what's trending on Pinterest, right? What are people looking for? If they're looking for what you're talking about, then yes, you're going to trend a little higher because they're looking for you, right? People are always looking for ways to make money, how to lose weight, how to get more sleep or better sleep, how to have more energy, right? There's a lot of topics that are constantly being searched because people have a lot of the same problems, right? But it's very important to relook at your past pins to see what actually was hitting and what was not hitting, right? So I wanted to start off with just some static pins like these right here. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo some of these pins tomorrow and for the next week. I'm literally going to redo the pins and talk about the topics that are on those pins. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to see if it was just the type of pin, meaning was it just because it was a static pin that was just maybe one with just a click-through image, or does it need to have life, right? Does it need to have me talking to the camera and literally telling people this is 7 ways to reduce stress, right? So it really depends on, you know, what is actually trending at the time because you never know what's going to happen, right? You never know, like with COVID, we didn't know what was going to happen. But it's really important to figure out how you can, navigate that, right? You need to navigate it. You need to figure out what actually is going to be in your best interest, right? In your best interest to make sure that you are making the most out of what your time is, right? So I just uploaded to my Dropbox. So I'm going to try to get that going while we are looking at these pins. So on this Pinterest page, what I wanted to show you is that things like this video here. Oops. So things like this video here had 30 views not so many views when it comes down to it. So really you need to kind of look at how that's really playing out for you, which I thought that was an amazing video, right? I was like, that's an amazing video. And it was showing how amazing this template design summit could be and was going to be. And it was so amazing. I was like, yes, I'm going to put it on there. And then 30 people watched it. Now, I look at things like this, like that's not that small, actually. Like, a lot of people think, oh, I have to go viral, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then when you really look at how things are going, right? When you look at how things are going, 30 people watching your videos, kind of a lot, right? If you had 30 people walk into your store and want to buy your products, that's kind of a lot to have come into your store all at once, right? And so when I see videos like my other ones that have, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 2,200, that one that had like 20 some thousand, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is unheard of, right? For that many people, that's like a stadium walking into your, or a small, venue, like people walking into your local bar and like packing it for your sold out concert. Like, that's what that is, right? So it's really interesting to see how things play out, because I like that we could have things happen in a very a very organic way, and that's great. Or we could try to push a viral button and kind of like cross our fingers and see what happens. But it doesn't always work the way that you think it's going to work, right? So I'm going to stop sharing this screen really quickly, and I'm going to pop over to the other screen, which is my Canva screen. And I want you to see how one of these pins is created, at least how I create it. So let me share that screen now. Let's see. Nope, that's the wrong one. I've got too many Canva screens open. My apologies. Let's see. There it is. All right, so now that we have this one here, now you can see back where we were before. And I wanted to, let me get it a little bigger so that you can see. All right, so I was posting this one, so let me just go back. I like to keep them all in a running order. Canva does this thing where they only allow you to have 50 videos, I think, on one actual design. I've named this up here COS, which stands for College of Style, and then this says Pinterest Pins. So I'm just going to, I'm going to click on this button down here that says Add a Page, and then it's just going to come up that way. And then I'm going to see if this video is here. It might not be finished loading. That's okay. We can take a little bit of the elements from an earlier pin. That's what I like to do, is take a few elements from an earlier pin and drop them in, because there's consistency happening, right? You got to have consistency in what you're doing. I'm going to refresh this just in case this video comes to life. Uploads. There it is. All right, so let's go all the way back down to the bottom. All right, and I want to put it in there.
Hey everybody, Dr. Sarah here from College of Style.
And you don't need to hear me anymore because you heard it at the beginning, right? So what I want to do is, it does have my face there, right? But what I do want to do is pull from before. I want to pull the information from the earlier one, 50 tips right here. I want to pull this. I'm going to highlight, Command C for Command Copy, and I'm going to scroll all the way back down, and then I want to put it down here. so that people see this, and they also see get the free guide now, right? So if all they see is my face, they can still, while I'm talking, hey,
to take advantage of my free guide.
Right? So now you have just the information. Get the free guide, which is the call to action, collegeofstyle.com. I'm actually going to change this because the guide actually lives at sandracolton.com/free guide. So if they're looking for it, they can look for it there. And this is literally on the fly, clearly on the fly while we were in the middle of this tutorial. So all we're going to do now is download it, because I am going to be kind of just showing you how you would do that. So in here, I'm just going to select page 37 because that's the page that this video is on. We're going to hit download. We're going to watch it download. And then I'm going to go back into our Pinterest page, and we're going to post it in the idea pins section, because what has been kind of trending nowadays is the idea pins are having a farther organic reach than just static pins. Now, this could change depending on when you're watching this video, but that's what I've seen, is that idea pins are being viewed and shared and saved and repinned a lot more than just static pins. So as this downloads, which it depends on how long your video is, like you could have multiple videos in an idea pin. There's, different ways that you can have multiple panels. You can add music, you can add text. But what I've done here is I went into Canva to do it so that I don't have to use the tools inside of Pinterest, because I like to have a little more control over the fonts and the symmetry, because if you're doing it on your phone, it's kind of sometimes hard to get it really aligned. And I know that there are, guides on Pinterest as well to get you, there. But for me, I like to make sure that if you're using any sort of branded typography, that you can pull it all the way through. Now, sometimes people might say, oh, well, you're rewarded. The algorithm is going to reward you for actually doing in-app creation. That's well and good, but is it going to bring your branded identity all the way through? Well, it depends on if you start your brand identity inside the app, because that's what I've done inside of our Facebook group. I have utilized a certain style when I use the Facebook backgrounds for posts. I try to use pink or something that has pink in it, and I try to ask questions with at least 7 or 8 emojis on the top. And so that's how I'm personally branding our Facebook group posts that are different than something that I've created in Canva, so that there's some sort of consistency, so that people, if they see the emojis, they're like, hey, it's Sandra, or hey, it's College of Style. And similarly with this, if I'm pulling my content from Canva, then I make sure that I'm using my fonts and my personal branding for College of Style or for my Sandra Colton Medici brands inside of Pinterest. And I know that it's hard sometimes to, you can record inside of Pinterest as well, but I like to do it this way. So I'm just going to take this video, and I'm going to get out of Canva so that you can see how it's going to go into Pinterest. So we'll stop sharing the Canva screen, and we will go into my Pinterest screen so that you can see how we actually upload into Pinterest. Pinterest, there you are. All right, so here's Pinterest again. So now you can see we're going to go up to where it's this little icon here, and it's a little pencil or pen, and you click on it, and oops, you don't want to see that. Oh, we want to see create an idea pin. All right, so we're here. Now we want to go to drag in our video. So I'm going to drag in the video Boom. And you can see you can create still inside of Pinterest, but you don't have to necessarily create everything, right? So you can add a page if you want to add more. We can add in, some other call to action, but I just want to stay on this one, make it really simple. You can add text. If you see this right here, you could actually add a text, and it does have stuff like, I'll add something just to be, hi there, so that you can see it. And then you can move it around. It does have guides, right? But you're limited, right, to what they're giving you as far as like these fonts over here: super glue, chalkboard, lava lamp, whisk, journal, lagoon. Like if yours is in there, that's great, but there's only like, I don't know, what, 10 there. So you want to keep it consistent. That's my mantra. Then you can do backgrounds if you want to add a background. You can add different colors here. But I'm going to keep it the way it is. So let's click next. Right. So now here's the fun part, right? So we're going to do a really great title. I'm just adding something for you right now. So up level your online business. Get the free guide to start doing what you love today. Right, so you want to go in and just make sure that you have keywords, right, which is where we want to start here. You can pick a board, which I always pick College of Style. And then I go into growth strategies, let's say. Searching for a tag, I always try to be pretty specific, and it'll tell you, right? So online, selling online is a good one, right? You want to sell your stuff online. Business is a good word to start with. Okay, business ideas. Let's do entrepreneur. We get into quotes, which is not exactly what this is showing you. We can put the word guide, guided reading, brand guidelines. Not really where we want to be, right? Let's do strategy. I saw strategic planning right there. So let's do strategic planning. And then we can do small business. We can do starting a business. I like that other one. Small business marketing. Let's put in the word design. Let's see what happens here. Bathroom, interior, web design, exterior. Web design might help someone sell their web materials, their design, templates. Let's do online business and see what pops up. Starting a business, we already have. Okay, so let's do career advice. That would be good. Let's do transition. Career transition is a good one. Let's think about marketing. Okay, you've got small business marketing. You could do marketing plan. Let's do marketing plan. Let's do digital marketing. We got digital media. Let's do internet marketing. Boom, internet marketing. Okay, now we've hit a limit. But I do want to look up one other thing, resource. Let's see if we take off marketing plan and we just put on resource. Human resources. These don't really give you what you want, because I was trying to think of like tips. You could get skincare tips, weight loss tips, photography tips. Not really. Information, let's try that one. Information, community tech, not really. So let's just keep marketing plan. It's always best to make sure that you're really within the zone when you're doing this. And then you're going to either allow people to comment or not. And then what I like to do is always add either the ingredients, if it's like a recipe, supplies, if you need it, notes. I always like to put notes to grab your free guide. Make sure to enter the URL, sandracolson.com/free guide. But people see that call to action again. And then if you want it to be bulleted, you can. download instructions, and then you get bullets that way. You can say special invitation, join our free and private Facebook group for more great marketing, lifestyle, and communication strategies at, I can't write today, but I have Grammarly, facebook.com/groups/the College of Style. So you can add that in there as well if you want them to do something else. And then you can just hit this bright red button that says publish. And then you'll see it's uploading page 1 of 1. And in just a few seconds, it should tell you that it is finished. It says down here, this page may take a few seconds. Please don't close or refresh the page. This is really important because all of that work that you just did, you do not.
Hey, everybody.
You do not want that to go away, right? So you can go in, and the only thing about Pinterest that I don't like is if you wanted to go in here and edit your pin, there's only a few things that you can do. It says only changes to board selection and engagement settings are allowed after publishing. So if you wanted to just change out this entire video, you can't do it. You'd have to start all over again. But you can, if you wanted to, change the board that you've pinned it to, or allow people to comment because you've turned it off, then you can do that. But because we're not doing that, I mean, here's where you would do it. This is the boards and this is the comments. We're just going to click done, right? So this is the new pin. Get the free guide now, right? And I would add a little bit more, like maybe boost your business, get the free guide now. But because we're doing this a little fast, this is how you would do one of the pins. But it's very important to see kind of the process and some of the limitations, right? So you want to be very careful when you're in here. You can go back, and it's not going to be, it should be in this upper panel. Let's see if we refresh, if it shows up. There it is. So now it shows up. I'm not super concerned as to, every third one has to be my face. Like sometimes people look at Instagram that way, like it has to be super curated. And I think sometimes people like Pinterest to be really curated as well. I think that the aesthetic needs to be there, meaning the mood of your brand, the typography, the brand colors, your brand messaging. I think all of that needs to be very cohesive. But I don't think that, it has to be every fourth one is my face or every fifth one is a how-to tip. It really can just be what you're teaching people about what you know. And sometimes that's cohesive, and sometimes that's like, hey, I got this great idea, right? And I need to share it with you right now. And so that's how it is. If you look at down here, which is the static pins, you'll see there's a little bit of a difference. In the first 5 days are all of these ones up here through right here on the second one. And then you can see some of my earlier pins didn't have as much text and didn't have as much, I would say, thought put into them versus these ones right here, which definitely show the growth that's happening with not only my brand of College of Style, but my aesthetic when I'm looking at what is actually popping on Pinterest, what is getting people's attention. And so that's where you see some of the growth that I've been using in just some of my research. So I'm going to stop the screen there. So that's just a very quick tutorial of how I would create a pin. And not only that you could do this in, a very short amount of time, like I had the amount of time to film something, send it to myself, download it from Dropbox, upload it to Canva, download it again from Canva, upload it again. My gosh, that sounds like a lot. Upload it to Pinterest and publish, right? And so, and what are we at? 40 minutes? And with a lot of my other talking in between. But I do think that that's very important to just know that if you wanted to save some time, you could do that all on Pinterest through the app. And but you're not going to get, I personally don't think you're not going to get the consistency if you've already established your brand with a typography set, with certain colors, things like that. You're kind of relegated to it's almost my brand colors and it's almost my brand font inside of Pinterest, which is the same if you're on Twitter doing kind of the tweets, what do they call them? where you're posting in there now. I think that you can do some of that. Oh goodness, it's escaping me right now. When you're on Twitter, what is it called? Yes. So you can do some of the live stuff too. It's kind of like stories. But when you're doing Instagram, you're relegated to that too. So it really just depends on how much of your brand is relying on those elements within certain apps. If you've started it so that your stories are consistent from the get-go, or you're starting from now until forever to have your stories be consistent inside of those apps, then you can do it that way. Or you can pull things into Canva and have it start out at least with a certain measure of cohesion with your brand colors and your brand fonts, so that you are not relegated to all of those other things inside of each individual app that are not aligned across all social media, so that you have cohesion there. So I hope that this helps. We are on day 6, and I'm going to go back to pinning away. And I know that there are so many things that we are going to start. This is one of the first tutorials that I've done on just doing something in Canva for our group. So if you have a chance, feel free. I'm going to put it up again so that you can see how to follow us on social media, but also how to join our lovely family here on Facebook. You can click on Instagram at College of Style, Facebook at The College of Style, Twitter at College of Style, and Pinterest at The College of Style. I welcome you to follow all of our social profiles, to join us at collegeofstyle.com, and to join our newsletter if you have a chance. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.